Everyone.
Welcome, people.
Yeah, quite some people. I just have to put out all the messages, right? I always do that beforehand, but now I've just pressed the stream, and then all my whole thing is just out of kilter. So anyway, so Eurocast,
Yeah,
the
Eurocast.
last one until you leave for the Netherlands.
Yes.
So
Maybe the last one ever.
yeah,
The
who
plane
knows?
goes down.
Yeah.
Russia trying to do that for the
Oh
to
my
Dutch
God, you might
planes.
have to make an emergency landing in Belgium. Oh dear, how terrible.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
no, no.
so we'll keep it short tonight. This will probably be about an hour, something like that. We'll
Yeah,
talk
around
about
that.
it. Since you also have your jab tomorrow, you have
Yeah,
to.
it's going to be quite a day tomorrow. So, first of all, topics.
Topics. Well, today's topics. We have a number of topics. We'll start, of course, with the FG updates. The FG updates, as always, will be quite something this week because there's been a bit of a change, hasn't there? It's we've decided to take an axe to the tree, which was our channel list.
Yeah, I mean we do that every once in a while.
Yeah. Another
they
topic.
grow and then they chop down.
Yeah, exactly. It helps keep things fresh. Another topic is NATO Russia this week.
Yeah, so I imagine you're going to talk a bit about Kazakhstan as well there.
Yes, of course.
Then Russia, Ukraine,
Yes.
all that stuff.
All that stuff. All the juicy stuff going on over there.
Which I mean, Putin gives us always a reason to group everything up because no matter what, he's always there, so we can group everything, and it's easier to do the topic list.
And he
does it for us.
Exactly, and we can of course talk about what's going on more kind of clearly because we always have something to talk about. Because
I lost you there.
Thank you, Putin, for giving us topics every week. That's very nice of him.
About COVID, Italy has a new rule. It's going to get mandatory.
Oh, ooh, very very sexy.
I mean, it is mandatory right now. They have time till the 15th of February, but the legislation is already there.
Okay. It just has to go through now. Interesting times.
They just have a bit of time to comply. Let's say after that they get the sanctions start coming, and obviously, they need it if they want to work as well.
Yeah, of course.
Right now it's only 50 plus, though, not everyone.
Well, I mean, here they're talking about. They've been talking about it in the Netherlands, but it looks like it probably won't happen. At least not mandatory. But there will be many restrictions, and I mean this week, and this is why the topic is how to piss off the unvaccinated. Is Macron also weighing in heavily on this? Those were literally his words. I want to piss them off. So
I mean there are ways, so we can talk a bit about that.
Yeah, and we got next topic is Amsterdam is bigger than London. Amsterdam is doing very well with stock markets and derivatives and things like that, and how that shift is going on right now. Between London and Amsterdam and all the capitals in Europe when it comes to finance. We're also going to talk a bit about the nuclear deal. This week, the SPD weighed in on that. And the EU finally said yes, we're going to use nuclear power as the as one of the transition fuels to the future. So
that's going to be useful for
and
sure.
And of course, upcoming elections. We've got quite a few coming.
Yeah, the most important one being obviously the president of the Republic of the best country in the world. So
yeah, exactly. Italy is coming up in January, I think, or is it February?
This month.
This month still.
It's going to take a while because COVID actually. What happens normally? You are going to have more than one vote. After each vote, it changes a bit the way it works, and no one has ever gets it at the first vote. It's like at the 5th, 7th, whatever.
Yeah.
At least. Issue is because of COVID and the sanitation of the whole place and all the things they need to do, it's pretty much impossible to do more than one vote per day. So this is going to take a while. I mean, even normally, it's always more than a day affair. It doesn't ever end in one day, but it usually is like 2 or 3 days. It's going to be more than a week.
Is it possible?
So it's going to be It's going to be enjoyable.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Every day is going to be full of drama.
Drama every day. I love it. Could it be possible that that the president of the republic's the choice of the president of the republic is at the same time that the legislation is going through for COVID? You know, about February, mid-February, something like that. You know.
Wait, what do you mean?
Well, I mean, you said when we were talking about COVID that mid-February is when the legislation will go through to make everything mandatory, to make jabbing mandatory.
Yeah, for those over 50. You know, I didn't even think about it. You mean the MEPs, which are not vaccinated, so they will not be able to vote unless they get vaccinated.
Yeah, something like that, you know, or they start, they can vote and then they skew the vote, you know, because they want, of course, a president who doesn't sign off on this kind of legislation.
No, so. I mean, unfortunately, it's not going to get till there. It's probably going to end sooner than that.
No Bugo moment, you know, this is a joke between me and Dante that that this was in the
2020 edition of Sanremo.
Yes, this 2020 edition of Sanremo. I thought it was 2019, but you know, time flies so fast now. And you know, I mean, Sanremo is basically the Eurovision on steroids, right? I mean, it's longer. It's got way more drama. And during one of the performances,
I just want to make it clear. Sanremo is not the Eurovision. It's the opposite. Yeah. Eurovision is the Sanremo of Europe. Literally, Sanremo came first. Then Eurovision, COVID said, "Can we use this format and do it for Europe?"
Exactly.
So it's really important.
It's the first.
The master here.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and just like the London Underground, you know, if you're first, you make a lot of mistakes. So it's good that we have Eurovision now. It's like version 2.0.
I mean, depends.
Yeah. Anyway, so back to the subject. So those elections, we got the French elections, of course, Slovenian elections this year as well, and Hungarian elections. Ooh.
Yeah, and those are going to be interesting.
Yeah. It's gonna be great. And of course, as last, I do still want to hear about Chicho. How's he gonna be this week? You know, do you notice anything different about him already? That he knows something's going on.
Really? I mean, he's not going to the Netherlands, that's for sure. He's not going to get tortured like that.
Actually, it is rainy, it is cold, it is miserable over here. Take a coat, mate. You know, it's that bad. You know, I was thinking about taking the kids outside today, and I looked outside, and it was like, no, it's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's start at the top.
Such positive notes. Let's talk about FG.
FG, yes. I called a meeting yesterday, and you know, I mean, this is something that I was already talking about with our good friend Eurovaccinator, who's a long-time contributor and also a friend. We thought to ourselves, you know, Forum Godfrey needs a change. It's a new year, it's new chances, you know. And we came up with kind of an idea of having Forum Godfrey more of having more of a structure, you know, more structured. So I mean, it's a bit of a for those that have been here for longer, it's been a bit of a look back, you know, a retro feel to it now. We have a general efforts category for all those people who want to talk about anything, you know. That's also the landing spot for most people when they come there to the FG. We have a zero effort right now, which, you know, I mean, these things are subject to change. Zero effort will probably change its name, but it's like the dump for everything. all the memes can go in there. Very good. And we have serious effort category now, which is like this is something that's kind of close to my heart. The articles, which we update regularly, which Inos, one of our good mods, helps fill, and Black Owl as well, and of course All Glory, very helpful. That's all been moved kind of to the serious effort area, including the news threads. It's got a new political discussions area. You know, it's a new us basically, and I thought that was worth mentioning. You know, it was a good meeting.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you didn't veto anything, by the way.
Yeah,
You know.
it was quite. I mean, some things are going to be changed.
Yeah.
Anyways, so.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, we unbanned Doubt this week. So
that
he's
way
back.
we can ban him again. Huh?
Yeah, so that we can ban him again. It's the running joke, basically. I think he's been banned like 7 times now, something like that, right? So this is for those that don't know. Doubt is he's right now he's known as Flowery Redundancy. He's a long-time user and a long-time borderline troll, I should say. You know, but I'm glad. I'm glad to have him back. It's been a while, so welcome back, Doubt. Even though you're not listening right now, but you know, screw you.
Speaking of changes, let's go through one of the most important ones. The projects section is a bit different now.
Yes.
Each Reddit is going to have its own thread, so we are going to use threads a bit more extensively, and every person of the FG network is going to be able to manage those threads.
Exactly.
So all the projects are going to be there. It's going to be a bit more involved.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the way it is to be.
That's and of course we have a new channel called Promoted Content, where we're going to get all our content providers, all the people that create things to post their projects into. Anything new goes in there, which is nicely at the top. I think, you know, that's important under the announcements. People can also sub to it, you know, which is nice. So you know, big change also for the content providers, and I think this will make it more manageable, I think, as well, which is something that, you know, this is why I kind of pushed for it. So you know, I hope people are happy with it. You know, the big change. Of course, you know, I mean, other changes are coming. Like I said last week, the website. There's Eurobot still needs some work. So there are still plenty of things to do, but we'll get around to them when we get around to them, I guess. So yeah, nice.
And with that said,
yeah,
let's give to the people what the people want.
Yes.
Let's discuss the news.
Yes, let's discuss the news. Well, this week was quite something with Russia and NATO going on at the moment. There's 2 things going on right now, isn't there? There's the whole Ukraine issue, which, you know, I mean, what I saw this week was some analysts, some diplomats believe that the window for Russia to invade Ukraine is between, mid-January, so now, and February. So, you know, and seeing as how Putin's now been really... kind of hammering onto NATO, trying to get NATO to agree to his terms of, you know, not allowing the Eastern countries which have not joined NATO yet to join NATO. You know, that's clearly unacceptable for the for NATO. Jens Stoltenberg, the PM, is also. The NATO chief has also weighed in on this and said no, there will be no second tier NATO made. CTN says our Ukraine is the most depressive subreddit on the entire Gotofuka network right now. Truth. Yeah, I can believe that. You know, it's a harsh time for them. I mean, by the sounds of it, most people are expecting Putin to do something. Though of course we still don't know if he actually will. The troops are there-ish. They might have enough troops to pull it off, and they're constantly moving them around as well to create kind of a smoke screen. So we don't know if Putin is serious about this. But that's the one situation. And of course, this week what kicked off is Kazakhstan. So I don't know. Do you know much about that, Dante?
A bit. I mean, I think as everyone, probably everyone knows Kazakhstan, whatever it is in English. I don't know.
Kazakhstan.
The name. Yeah, whatever. It's having a bit of an issue there.
Yeah.
The thing is, they were managing somehow to successfully dethrone a dictator.
Yeah.
And then Putin said, "Not near my border."
Yeah.
And sent some mercenaries who he's paying for.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as I understand, right now the Kazakhstan's police, army, most of them are not working for the government anymore.
No.
They all defected, kinda.
Yeah, exactly.
So, which I mean, as everyone knows, that's when the civil war has been lost. The moment you lose the army, you lost. That's the thing that matters at the end of the day. The one who has the power, the military power, is the one that decides. So it was done.
Yeah.
It was. It doesn't really happen that often. I mean, it was quite interesting
how fast it went. Yeah, I mean, the president of Kazakhstan basically is the one that fired his cabinet, and this all, by the way, this all came around because of the gas prices, basically. Gas prices shot up in Kazakhstan, and the people just weren't having it.
But as far as I'm understanding, I mean, obviously, first of all, dictatorship, people already were not that happy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, there's no other way of protesting except for rioting, basically, when you're at that level. Yeah.
And when it comes to the gas pricing, as I understand, the government was keeping those in check. Probably they ran out of money, I would imagine, or for some other reasons. They are not anymore, so prices shot up to the market value, let's say, at least for them. And for people, first of all, people working in that field. I mean, quite a few people work there. And the way it went, I mean, the biggest thing, it's not even that just the riots. As I said, the police defected quite soon. And this is one of the few times, but it's not like Putin sent his tourists.
Exactly.
The Kazakhstan dictator actually called for Putin to go there to help him.
Yeah, exactly. It was a request. Of course, I mean, Putin was ready for it. Apparently,
obviously.
There are also a lot of Belarusians involved now, Belarusian soldiers.
I mean,
if you're going to send someone that's disposable.
It's not the Russian army mostly, but I mean, they are paid by Russia. So.
Yeah, exactly. There's also the Wagner Group, which was sanctioned last month by the European Parliament, which is basically, I mean, it sounds quite innocuous, the Wagner Group, but it's basically the mercenary arm of the Russian armed forces, and they're, for example, also involved in places like Mali. In Syria, you name it, they're basically involved in plausible deniability for the Russians, and I mean for me, that's where it becomes interesting, when they get involved. Last week,
I mean, is it even? I mean, I wonder. And to be fair, I don't think Russia is going to necessarily annex the place.
Yeah.
Because that's not how it works. But I wonder if it's going to be its puppet to some degree. I mean, literally the only army in there, it's the Russian. It's not the Russian army, but the Russian forces.
Yeah.
At least the mercenaries. So they kind of already own the place now, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. It's basically, it's theirs. and
it's not like.
Yeah.
Putin is the only one that matters there now. The Kazakh dictator, he doesn't have power.
Yeah, it's like the same thing in Belarus, really. I mean, Lukashenko.
But it's not
also,
that way.
without Putin, he's basically done for, and the same thing goes for this president.
Yes,
I keep on forgetting his name, so you guys will have to forgive me for that.
Lukashenko, at least, I mean, he still has an army. He does go against Putin sometimes.
Yeah.
It's a bit different when the other guy here in Kazakhstan, it literally doesn't have an army anymore.
Yeah.
It's literally just a dude.
Just a dude and some Russian and Belarusian soldiers at the moment.
They don't. It's not like he's giving orders.
Yeah.
It's Putin giving orders. So it's not politically annexed, at least not de jure, let's say. But the fact it kind of is, at least for now. And I don't expect in the future for the dictator to get that much say.
Yeah.
It's going to be even more of a puppet. I mean, already Russia there has influence. It's not like they didn't have influence before.
Yeah.
But now it's going to be even more than that. Which, I mean, the thing is, as I said earlier, they were winning quite easily, the Kazakh people. I mean, they won.
Yeah.
Quite. So, and now they lost, I guess. And I wonder how it's going to
go.
I
mean, there's still a cohort of loyal Kazakh state security, basically, and they are the ones that were given orders to shoot to kill.
To shoot on sight.
Shoot on sight. And
I mean, the numbers not big.
I mean, to be honest, the Kazakh people really, they really took it over. I've seen videos of people basically getting kicked to death, and it's very, it's hard on hard in Kazakhstan. But I mean, Putin has such an interest in keeping Kazakhstan near to him. I mean, his whole space program is there. What's he gonna do? Let all the nuclear and the space testing areas just slip out of his hands? I don't think so.
I wonder what happens if the EU sends its own mercenaries. That force that Borrell wanted.
Those 5,000. Just dress them up in traditional Kazakh clothing and say that they're tourists. And
they're tourists.
Yeah. Just here to check things out. Yeah. Come on, Josep, get on it. We all want that European army as soon as possible. So.
Oh wait, no, it's not. So in the chat, they're saying that if we send troops, it's World War III.
Yeah.
But it's not. This is the Cold War. If you remember, during the Cold War, in third states, the US sent its own state. The communists sent their own troops, and then they were fighting out in proxy wars.
Yeah.
So this is just
this is the next proxy war, basically.
Yeah, it's the good old times.
Yeah, exactly. Back to the 80s. Bad hairstyles, crappy music, and a Cold War. That's where we're going to. So
isn't this what conservatives want? Let's go back to the old days.
Exactly. Exactly. So anyway, so NATO has a number of meetings this week on this. The thing that kind of gets to me is that Russia has explicitly kind of ruled out dealing with the EU, right? Whereas it's a European security issue, so the EU's like, what the hell, But there's little that they can do because the Russians just want to talk to basically America because it's traditional, and NATO in general. And I believe, let me just check the calendar on this. I believe coming week is. Let's look. Yeah.
What if we send the foreign fighters for the French ones?
Oh.
The Foreign Legion.
Yeah, the Foreign Legion. Yeah.
Yeah, we send them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Foreign Legion can do Ukraine, and then
But let's make it bigger. I mean, Africa is big.
Yeah. I think this will definitely help Borrell's push for the European army, though. Without joking. I think this is exactly what Borrell and the more hawkish people in the European Council
Are you saying? Are you saying that this was actually an inside job from Borrell's part? Is this what you're saying?
Yeah, but this goes back to Brexit, doesn't it? Because Brexit was also, the EU's idea.
That was Juncker and Tusk.
Juncker and Tusk.
Convincing the UK to save the EU.
Yeah, exactly, and they managed it. I mean, Juncker is nicely retired. I saw pictures of him last. He's very happy, by the way, in retirement. So, good on him.
He saved the EU. Obviously, he's happy.
Yeah, these are the conspiracy theories that matter.
Yeah, I mean, it's a conspiracy until it's true.
Yeah, exactly. It's don't you have to believe in COVID and you have to believe in this. That's it basically.
Yeah, it's almost the same level of scientific proof here.
Anyway, so Monday is the Russia-US talks. Russia is talking to NATO on Wednesday and the OSCE on Thursday. So this week will all be Russia, basically. The week after that will all be European again, but this week is just basically NATO and the US.
Yeah, but the thing is, I wonder. I mean, at least I hope the EU has some meeting of its own, because what do you even expect from out of Russia, which we are? We're not really expecting them to go with it, I think, but it's possible that they want to invade Ukraine. So it's not exactly the best interpreter when it comes to trying to find a solution for Kazakhstan, is it?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I mean, I mean, Josep Borrell did have a meeting today, actually, about an hour ago, with Secretary Blinken from the United States about, Ukraine and the build-up around that. And I mean, he's definitely keeping in touch. Right, but since Russia does not want to talk to the EU, there's very little that he can do to kind of break into there and go, "Hey, Russia, talk to me," So I guess I mean, the EU is relegated to a side player here by Russia, but actually is one of the main players because nothing gets done without
yeah. The thing is, it depends on how the EU acts, because sure, Russia can say that, but if the EU unilaterally says, if Russia does this, we do that. So the EU is already in the conversation no matter what.
Yeah, that's true.
No matter what Russia wants, obviously.
Yeah.
And I think Putin forgot something. Obviously, he knows the best way to get approval is to start shit up outside your country. But what he doesn't know is the defense like to do that as well.
Yes.
And they have elections coming up. So in Macron we trust, I guess.
Yeah. I think in this case that, and of course, I mean, Orban will be sweating it, so he can't really count on him either. Jansa as well, So I mean,
one of the things where you can't even expect the polls to be on your side,
Yeah, well, the Poles hate the Russians anyway. They'll do anything that Russia is not going to do. So vice versa. So
helps us.
Thank you, Poland. Very 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 based of you to do that. But I mean, we'll see what happens, guys. This week is going to be super super interesting geopolitically. And I think the EU will somehow have its finger in the pie. I mean, basically, definitely. I mean, don't forget, NATO is nothing without funding, and the EU is all about the funding. So who controls who in this case?
Well, I mean, depends.
Yeah, I don't know. So, sanctions are possible. Anyway, next topic, I think.
Next topic.
Yeah.
Get your COVID vaccine, people.
Yeah, exactly.
This is our next topic.
Yeah, how to piss off the unvaccinated. So this is because, like I said, Macron is being Macron, and of course, because of the elections, he's decided to take a very strong stance.
Yeah, but he didn't. That's the thing. This is the thing that you guys don't understand. There is a difference between someone trying to pretend to be having a strong stance and then a technocrat. The difference between the politician is saying you need to do this and that, but actually nothing was proposed from him, and he doesn't want to make them mandatory. He literally just said, I want to be annoying with them and stuff, piss them off, but it's not like he did anything really. On the other hand, base Draghi literally made it mandatory for everyone age 50 and above. And if people age 50 or above want to work, they'll need to have the vaccination. So other than, they obviously sanction if you don't get vaccinated, they have the sanctions if they try to go to work. And not being able to work, kind of important. And obviously, the idea was there was the idea of possibly making it be 18 plus before they decided on 50. I imagine personally that there was a bit of it being, especially Lega and maybe Movimento 5 Stelle as well, I would imagine, not being fully on board with going that far. And on the other hand, I imagine that technically speaking, I don't think we are able to vaccinate literally everyone tomorrow, even if we wanted to.
No,
Because
exactly.
if you go just 50 plus, it's more than 2.4, I think, or something along those lines of million people that need it. So that's more than 2 million people that need to be vaccinated in the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's not going to be done.
I mean, that's already a lot.
Yeah.
Adding to that 18 plus would be a lot. So, I mean, it makes sense that this is how it started. But if we keep seeing these numbers, I mean, Italy, we saw more than 220 or whatever it was. And probably next week we are going to reach easily 300,000 new cases per day.
Yeah.
Like really easily. So if it keeps going this way, I can easily see we getting 18 plus mandatory vaccinations.
Yeah, definitely.
So
I mean,
Macron he does the talk.
Meanwhile, but Italy does the walk. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's the same thing in the Netherlands. We're not gonna. The parliament and the government have both said that we're not gonna do mandatory vaccination.
Yeah, because you have politicians.
Yeah,
you have technocrats. That's the difference.
Yeah, exactly. That's. I mean, even though we have a new government and they could technically, because 4 years is a hell of a long time in politics, they could technically do whatever they want. When it comes to this, they still said basically no, and that's politics because they have to get the whole parliament enough votes in the parliament behind them, and no one's while a measure is unpopular. It won't happen, regardless of if it's good for the public or not.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, I was joking a bit, but I do think that there is some merit to the idea that the prime minister is not affiliated with any party.
Yeah.
So if people hate it, sure, they're going to hate Draghi. He's not part of any party.
Yeah.
Parties are not going to be damaged that much. I mean, obviously, right now, almost every party but one, I mean, literally everyone but one are part of the government. So when it comes to parliament, obviously they need to vote on it. But considering there is the COVID emergency, so people expect them to not do too much talking and postering in parliament. And considering that Draghi is the prime minister, so someone that is not part of any party, sure, parties are still going to get some amount of blame because they were part of the government. But first of all, everyone is in there, so it's not like one side gets it, the other doesn't. Pretty much almost everyone is in there, so it's relatively safe to just go with it.
Exactly. But is Draghi going to be there long enough to do anything else? I mean, that's the question, really. Because I mean, this I think 25th of January is your election. Right, something like that.
24th.
24th, yeah.
Something along those lines. I don't remember.
And there's only two real choices there for president of the republic, isn't there? There's Berlusconi.
No.
There's Berlusconi.
No. That's not how it works.
There's Draghi.
Not really.
No. Who would you? Who's the front runner at the moment?
You're using a bit of a. I don't know if it's Anglo, but whatever. It's not really part of Italian politics. You are trying to find the politician that is going to become the president of the republic.
Yeah.
It's not really how it works. I mean, we got Mattarella. No one knew who Mattarella was. He wasn't a politician.
I see.
There are so many people. I mean, obviously, usually when you get to the president of the republic, it's not like we're going to have someone which is young. So there's plenty of people old enough. And as you remember, everyone is part of government, so it has to be someone mostly central, can't be extremist. So probably it's probably going to be someone outside of politics, or a really old name. But the thing is, when you go politics, like someone that was part of politics, Berlusconi or whatever, they will have some baggage, I mean, on the other hand, if you get someone who was just a real famous professor of that university, did really well and has this history, everyone can get on board there. It's really easy that way. So the thing of because as I think, for example, in the UK, the prime minister has to be an MP, and the other ministers have to be a member of parliament, and the other places have that as well. Italy doesn't really have that. The ministers, the prime minister, any minister can be anyone. As Draghi is not part of any party, is not part of the parliament. Same thing for the president of the republic. So there are like the obvious names, like Draghi, Berlusconi can be a possible. I mean, Berlusconi is not really it's not really going to happen. Not even his side wants him. So I don't think that's really likely.
He'd basically have to be the most lucky person to get this, is what you're saying. But we all know, of course, that Berlusconi is extremely lucky. So I'm still counting. Really I'm still giving him like the shadow of the doubt.
You have to remember these elections. It's not just parliament. It's parliament plus the regions. Each region sends a few people based on the size of the region and based on who's part of the council in there. So it's a really big. It's bigger. It's like there are a lot of more people. The balance it's different compared to the way parliament normally is. So it's
really interesting.
It's a whole thing. It's not going to be easy for one person to get everyone on board. I mean, this is part of why it doesn't all end in the first vote, as I was saying earlier. This is something that's going to
this is going to be a succession of votes to get to this point about choosing who the actual president is.
I don't remember the actual thing because it's quite complicated. It's like the first 2 or 3 votes are, maybe the first 2 are relatively simple, like if you get a simple majority or whatever, or maybe even more than a simple majority was. Then you need, there is a way, a different vote, then after that, if that doesn't go well, another vote. There are like different ways to do voting, and after a while, each of those ways make it a bit more likely that you get someone, because maybe you don't need such a bigger majority, or there are other reasons to make it.
Can't you just leave it up to the Vatican, please? They just lock a number of people into a room and just wait until there's a consensus, when they need a new pope. So, but it'll be interesting, I'm really looking forward to this one, and because of all the stuff that's going on with COVID at the moment, that's going to be a nice one. And of course, same thing with the French elections. I'm really looking forward to seeing who will stand across from Macron,
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, French elections might not be the only ones coming up. The thing, I don't think it's going to fall personally, but it's likely. Right now we are in a period right now the government can't fall because of the president of the public elections. It's like a stasis thing, like they literally can't make it fall. And I think it lasts a bit after as well. I don't know how much, or maybe not even much. Maybe it's just released a few weeks, I don't know. But the thing is, after the president of the republic is elected, there's no real reason to keep the current government. I mean, Salvini can easily just say, okay, I don't give you the majority anymore. So it could fall, and we could get new elections.
It could get nasty.
It could fall, and maybe we get a different coalition.
But Draghi is like the most popular prime minister in a whole long while, isn't he? Considering,
but I mean, that's how it usually is with prime minister. They were, I mean, Conte was quite popular at some point. I mean, they are popular until they're not. After a while, they do stuff and they start not being popular. That's how it works.
But that's everywhere, That's a universal rule, basically. I mean, in the Netherlands, we have the same thing, Although, considering that our prime minister is on his 4th term now,
Yeah, but you don't have much choice. I mean, and you have that thing where it's like it has to be the leader of the party or whatever. It's meanwhile here, whatever. I mean, the thing is, it's easier when you don't have to make it the leader of that party. It's easier to have 2 parties agree when you can have a third person be the prime minister, and not giving one party more power over the other.
Yeah.
So
that will definitely be interesting to watch. People will be reporting on this a lot, I think, when it does happen. So
as I said, between the actual elections of the President of the Republic and the possible new elections of the whole legislation, new political elections, it might be an elections year. Hopefully not. I mean,
you won the World Cup last year, so this year you have to kind of make it extra interesting. This season of Italy has to have good ratings. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So
it always has quite interesting ratings. This year we might top it off.
Yeah.
Anyway, speaking of good ratings, who else has good ratings?
What?
Amsterdam. Apparently.
Yeah, I know, right? You're going there. Yeah, not Amsterdam, but you're going to the Netherlands. Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But you've been to Amsterdam, haven't you? So
yes,
you know the level of depravity that goes on there and stuff. Apparently,
I like to call Amsterdam fake Venice, or the Venice of the poor people.
Yeah, it's the other way around, of course. Venice is sinking into the sea, and Amsterdam is still there, baby.
But
again, version 2.0 is always better.
There is a version which is prettier, and it's not Amsterdam.
Yeah, I don't know. It's smellier, definitely. At least Amsterdam is clean.
I don't know. Clean might be a bit much.
Yeah. Anyway, so Amsterdam is doing very well in comparison to London at the stock market. So apparently, Amsterdam is filthy. Yes, I know, but the water is cleaner than the one. Than in Venice. So at least that's a plus.
I like how you can't win against Venice, so now you make a topic where you win against London.
Yeah.
Easier.
London is. But London is like the bottom of the pile. That's Paris level of.
You make it a bit easy.
Yeah.
But London has really clean water there.
Yeah.
The Thames, it's too dive in.
This is a recurring story that comes up every so many months in British newspapers because I follow these newspapers a lot. So, it's that
see people suffer.
Yeah. It's that in the River Thames and especially near the Parliament, the amount of cocaine in the water is so high that the eels are basically saturated with it. So don't swim. Don't or do swim in the Thames when you're near Parliament. Apparently, it's very healthy.
I wonder why it's near Parliament.
Yeah. So but this kind of course, it's been a year since the real Brexit. So this is the time to kind of tally up how it's been going in London and how it's been going in the UK and the EU and what's going on. And it looks like that. At least financially, London is slowly losing power to the rest of the EU, basically.
Okay.
The nice thing about the EU is, and I think this is really a plus, is that the EU does not have a central financial hotspot, as it were. We've got basically a number, what's called the blue banana. Right, which is the area from basically the Netherlands and Belgium and Luxembourg, stretching around into the Ruhr, and then into the south, basically. And that's basically where the most of the industry of the northwestern Europe is. Right, and then there's
talk about financial sector. Mm-hmm. I would say it's Amsterdam, Paris, Frankfurt, Milan.
Yeah.
And I think maybe Luxembourg, I guess.
Yeah, and Barcelona maybe,
Barcelona is a bit
Madrid.
getting, but it's a bit.
But that's like lower tier, You go there for your retirement money, not for stock trading. So
the main stock trading doesn't.
And if you look at a good kind of metric to measure this against, I guess, is how many startups are created in these areas. Financial startups, and you could see basically that Amsterdam, Copenhagen, funnily enough, as well.
Copenhagen is actually.
Sweden and Finland not so much, but Copenhagen is definitely in there. And then stretching down into Germany, you get Frankfurt, and of course then across the border Paris, an island unto itself when it comes to finances. So I mean the distribution of this and Amsterdam actually being able to keep ahead of London in certain parts, kind of shows that the diffusion from London, is I mean that a number of jobs basically being lost and number of trades being won by Europe definitely is shifting towards the continent, and I think I mean last year we saw all the stories about Britain where the shelves were empty and they had a thing, they had transport problems, logistical problems.
They still not have food though.
Yeah, I mean, can you really call it food? Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, stuff to eat. Let's be.
Yeah, exactly. A nourishment. That yes, they still have nourishment. But I mean, there's still shortages because of the way that the transport has been basically decoupled.
So it's still an issue then.
So it's still an issue, but it's less of an issue. And I mean, they still had Christmas turkeys, and it was so it's not like they're going hungry over there. Thank God. But those problems can probably be also kind of be pointed towards by COVID. That could also be part of this problem. But when you're talking about financial sector, that's really kind of that's independent of COVID. There's no way that
I don't know. I wouldn't say. I don't think really COVID has much to do with the shortages. I mean, then it's not like we have them.
Yeah, it's more of a cover basically, for a lot of problems which are going on, and probably also a multiplier in that way. But I think
it's not really. I mean, the thing is, at most, what you could say is that COVID makes it more apparent what being isolated means.
Yeah.
That you can't rely on others.
Yeah.
The thing is, Italy now, if we need seasonal workers, it's a bit harder to get them outside of the EU. If we need some Romanian guy to come help us here, a bit easier.
Yeah, exactly.
The UK, it's a bit harder for them.
Exactly.
So they're a bit isolated, but you can't really say it's COVID that makes the issue.
I don't know, because I mean the UK has been isolated in that way, but the numbers are being made up by, for example, people from China at the moment. People fleeing from Hong Kong. And also the talk is that the UK is finally going to give in to India and allow more free visa travel to allow things like seasonal workers, perhaps even. So it'll be interesting to watch what goes on there.
I'm not sure that people that voted Brexit wanted.
No. That was a real nice scene in Parliament this week where one of the Brexit MPs was like, "This isn't what we voted for," So everyone kind of piled onto that, and that was a wonderful Twitter moment, I must say. Which I was glad to see on my feed. So I mean,
if someone is going to vote to not get the foreigners, you can't get the foreigners.
Yeah.
That's against the rules.
Yeah. Can't do it.
If you can't have the referendum again. You want to go against it without even a new referendum? That sounds silly to me.
Yeah. I mean, this is the British way of life. Anyway, I think the last topic that we have left is the nuclear deal. We already kind of talked about the upcoming elections.
Yeah, we talked a bit about that.
So this is something that is near to the heart of a lot of our listeners. That the EU has finally okayed nuclear energy as a green source of energy, and by the way, also LPG, LNG, I should say, liquid natural gas, as a transition fuel to when we have fully figured out how to decouple ourselves from fossil fuels.
Which, by the way, can I say that it was a stupid argument?
Sorry?
I mean, it was a stupid argument in my opinion, having that being, do we do that? We do the other? I mean, it was obvious that you needed both of them.
Yeah.
And some countries need nuclear, some countries need gas.
Exactly.
And we need them. And it was stupid of Germany to say to France, no, you can't use nuclear energy, which is what?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is what happened today as well. The SPD came out in defense of Nord Stream 2, for example. This was a Reuters news story. Reuters, right? Yeah.
Reuters.
That the SPD basically has said, yeah, listen, we're not going nuclear, so we need to have this transition fuel. Otherwise, we're going to have a problem. No more coal is one, but LNG is at least cleaner than coal. So
quite
it's
a lot cleaner.
Quite a lot cleaner, yeah. So we're basically gonna invest in that, and I mean Nord Stream 2 for all those that haven't been listening and live under a rock is basically what the new pipeline between Russia and Germany under the Baltic Sea, right? And Putin really wants this, and Germany really needs this, basically.
And me too. Don't forget me.
Yeah,
I really want it.
Yeah, exactly.
Gas is getting really expensive.
Exactly. I mean, it would be nice if the Germans didn't want your gas as well, and that would drive down the prices. So
yeah, but if they have more gas, they can send it here, and that would mean that I don't have to spend 2.20 euro.
All Glory asks, why does Germany need it? Well, I mean, they're getting rid of all of their nuclear plants. I think the last nuclear plant will be decommissioned this year in December. They switched off 3 at New Year's, So I mean, it's their choice to, because there's because we're not a federation. Basically, this is what we have to do.
I mean, probably even if we were a federation, they would still be able to.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, this is the choice that the Germans made, after Fukushima. Not smart.
By the way,
yeah.
Interesting. Italy didn't really have much of a strong position either way there, which is interesting because Italy used to be against nuclear, but we didn't really. It hasn't been in the public discussion much.
Yeah.
Lately.
I think it depends. I mean, would you actually want to build a nuclear plant in Italy where there's 5 continental plates merging all the time, and things like Vesuvius happen, earthquakes and shit.
On the Vesuvius, I mean, you can put it in the Pianura Padana up there. It's fine. I mean, literally there are.
It's still, but the feeling of the majority of the public will be like, maybe not,
Yeah, but literally there are, I don't know how many, quite a lot, like more than 10 nuclear plants literally across the board. There is Italy, there are Alps, and there are French nuclear plants.
Yeah, and the Swiss as well, funnily enough. The Swiss are really
but
into
they're
this.
Swiss.
Yeah, I know, but if France goes down, I mean, France had this nuclear, they shut down, I think, 3 or 4 nuclear plants over the holidays to do maintenance, and suddenly the coal plants in the whole of Europe had to be started up again. So it'd be nice to be able to rely on someone else than just the French, of course, in that case.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not like France. It's almost single-handedly making most of Europe's energy.
Yeah. Oh, Jill Biden says the Swiss are shutting off their nuclear plants too. By the way, oh my God, guys, come on. It's the only thing.
Yeah,
I mean.
It's the Swiss, no one cares.
You can't generate solar power from solar panels that are covered in snow, surely, right?
No, I don't think it works.
Yeah. And
the thing about French people, they trigger Italians. So it's a better strategy if you want Italy to have nuclear plants.
Yeah. I don't subscribe to that view completely, but I get your point.
It works.
Yeah. So this is good news. I think this gives the EU the chance to deal with the thing that everyone wants them to deal with at the European Council last time. Which is energy. Now that this agreement is there, I mean, bar maybe states like Austria giving some chip, but I don't really see that happening either. I think the Greens in Austria are quite cowed at the moment because of all the stuff going on and with their association with courts. who of course stepped down last month. Their prime minister after a scandal, I think, or two.
Wait,
financial scandals.
Weren't the Germans supposed to be the stable ones?
Yeah, I know, right? Can you go back? Can we like reverse it to like how it was before, where Italy was the one that constantly had a new government?
Yeah,
I mean,
but Italy never defaulted, whilst the Germans did twice in the last 100 years. So,
this is why you have to trust German finances to the Dutch. It's very simple.
I mean, or you can just do it with Italy. Some, as I said, are just more stable than others.
Yeah.
Just needs.
I mean, have a
wider view.
We still have no government. We have, but the king still hasn't signed off on it, so it's still not happening.
Imagine
it's been almost a year, right? Here, this is a nice one. Heartless Eurocrat, great meme there. My proposed locations of new V4s, Slovenian nuclear power plants. I like it. A very good idea. Yeah. Anyway, I think we've come to our last topic.
Yeah, I think so.
Chicho.
We managed to get to Chicho.
Yeah, Chicho. How's our little Chicho doing?
Chicho is great. As you people might know, since I'm going to the Netherlands this week, I had to get in contact with Snor on WhatsApp as well. I mean, we already were, but just to make sure that it still worked, I sent him an exclusive admin-only pic of Chicho.
Exactly.
It was quite something, I would say. Would you not agree?
Yes, it was. I showed it to my wife, and she was very, very happy. She actually stopped her YouTube to watch it, and that says a lot. It's.
I mean, that's
that's
making people stop YouTube.
Yeah. Usually she just ignores me, so or she tries to anyway. So.
I mean, we all try, but it's really hard.
Yeah. That's the curse of the Snore. It's, I'm never wanted but always needed. Anyway, so is he going to so he's going to stay at someone's house then?
Yes.
That's nice.
He's going to change his house for a week, I guess.
And does the cat that lives in that house usually know about this, or is
Yeah. I mean, they don't live in the house, but there are like 3 cats.
Oh.
They're outside, but they're going to go inside once in a while to play with Chicho as well.
That's very nice.
Chicho is not allowed outside.
Yeah.
Because outside cats die.
Yeah, that's true. Especially, I mean, this is something that most people might not know, but there's actually statistical, evidence that cats that live inside, bar accidents, of course. Live longer than ones that basically go outside. Our cat is also an inside cat, but that's more out of choice. We've given her the choice to go outside if she wants, but she doesn't want. You don't want to go outside in this weather, man.
I mean, it's Netherlands.
Yeah. Like I said, bring a coat, man. It's going to be really cold, Gloves too, if you got them. So,
as an average, as far as I know, cats that live outside live around 3 years.
Yeah.
That's the average age. I mean, obviously there are some that die older, some younger. The average life expectancy is 3 years. Meanwhile, if it's living inside the house, it can easily do more than 15.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there are some that even reach 20.
It's like with humans. If you live in the EU, you live longer, and then if you live outside the EU, right, then you live shorter. It's just how it works.
If you live in the Eurozone, it's even more EU.
Yeah, but that's like that's the difference between a home and a loving home. For cats. Anyway, I think that's it, mate. We made it 1 hour.
Yeah.
So
reached the point. This one had to be a bit shorter since I need to wake up in 5 hours.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, I'm glad you made it though. It was a nice little chat, like we always do, and with expert opinions, of course.
Yeah, really expert. And hey, there was a bit less rambling. I mean, quite a lot, but more condensated.
So, nice. We should maybe this will be a new format. We'll see. First next week I'll be doing it alone. Every Saturday at 2200. Dante will be in the Netherlands. I might meet up with him if I can, and make a little recording of that. But we'll see about that. So
maybe.
Maybe.
I don't think it's going to be
doable. No, I think
maybe.
You've got work, and I have to travel there, and it's gonna be.
Maybe.
Yeah, who knows?
Let's say not even a 1% chance.
Nah.
Like a 0.1% chance.
10% surely.
Might have both hosts in the same place.
That would be epic. Yeah, but
it's not likely.
Maybe we should. Maybe a better time for that would be in the summer. Where you can actually go sit outside and you've got time. And COVID is low, right?
I didn't think it existed there. I'm learning so many new things today.
Oh. Anyway, for next Saturday, 2200, you can always join us on Discord, and of course sub to our Twitch and our YouTube. Links are in the Twitch, are in the on the Discord, and of course on the YouTube. So sign up and join us next week. So night everyone. See you on the audio channel.
Bye.